So this is part two of the random thoughts two. Um, so basically, I was on a story where, I mentioned to this girl that, hey, you're saying now that you're over guys and whatnot, but ultimately you will have somebody that will have my personality, but maybe not the body type. And because I mentioned this, the conversation went through. Said in the first part, hey, I, I wouldn't allow. I know that you and your boy have this thing about it wouldn't matter if you get involved or he gets involved, and then you either swaps position. When it comes to okay, maybe you guys dating the same girl, but I wouldn't allow that to happen with me. Which I said, yeah, fair. But I'm not gonna lie, that got me thinking because I'm like, well, if you're mentioning this, you know, is it just what it is? Is okay, well, if I was close to some guy, um, then I wouldn't allow myself to do that. But it was also that on another case, like maybe that's the cue to say, hey, hey, calling out, you might as well put your bid and put your bid in and see what happens, which I don't agree with. Maybe that was it. Maybe it was called at the moment, at that moment, particular moment for me to do something. But my thing was, hey, we were out drinking. I wasn't personally, but that particular person, and shout out to that person by the way. That particular person was drinking. She was vulnerable about explaining the whole thing to me. So I didn't feel like it was the right moment, or well, saying that would be wrong because you know that would mean that there would be a moment, and that would mean that there was something. But no, what I mean is it. You know, you can't. This is not the time. I saw it as okay. There was a cue there, and and then depending on what you do, then you might get the reaction or something, or you might get a different outcome that might change your life or that girl's life. Now, is there a point of me doing that? Not necessarily, because you know if something is meant to happen, it will happen. Okay, as cheesy as it sounds, but I'm not in the business of forcing things to happen. So when when the whole the whole scenario went down, I just said to myself, well, okay, cool. Like, you're being open, and then you're being very very comfortable with sharing stuff with me that you don't say you know that you wouldn't say to someone that wouldn't have your back, which I thought was pretty dope. And I to this day I still think this that particular person for that, because it's one thing to be friends with someone, but it's another way you could in confidence open up and then say, hey, I feel a certain way. This is how this is my view about life, and this is how I operate. And then you check it in the air, and then you make sure. Well, you can't even make sure that that person won't judge you. You're just so comfortable with that person that you're like, hey, if they judge me, well, okay, at least it would be that person, and I'm okay with it. So for that, I'll always be thankful, um, because I love helping people. So for them to just give me a call, or in that case, it was literally after going out. to be able to just open up like that. It's a privilege that, you know, I'm pretty sure open couples or, married couples wouldn't have. So, with that being said, um, my thoughts, when it comes to to this situation was, hey, you know, well, from a guy's perspective, oh, okay, well, there was an opportunity, like that girl is vulnerable, but I don't operate like that. You know, I saw it as just a friend, and there's nothing wrong with having friends. Is and yeah, you'll hear guys and girls can't be friends, but the only reason they can't typically is because there's one lying to the other one about wanting them. You know, if you're a girl and you're always around this dude and you want to fuck his brains out, like you might as well pull the moves to do it. And the same thing with guys. So that's what the problem is the dishonesty. At the end, it's not the fact that guys and girls can't be friends. They can. They absolutely can. But we love to say that they cannot and will not because there's always one of them, in the couple. And I say guys and girls, but it could be a guy, another guy, or a girl, another girl. But you know, we're talking about a couple, like two people being connected, right? And when it comes to stuff like that, and maybe there's a friendship going on, it's just that the one party decides that, hey, my ego is way too fragile, um, to go ahead with this plan, which is to maybe a on fuck this guy or this girl's brains out, or B, I want to be the girlfriend or the boyfriend for that person. So they figure, hey, I'm not gonna say anything, and I'm gonna navigate, you know, through thick and thin with this person, which there's nothing wrong with that because you're acting like a friend. Now the problem with that is, you have feelings, and man, and maybe that person will end up getting a boyfriend or getting a girlfriend, and then you're here stuck listening to issues that they have and knowing that, hey, maybe you could have done a better job. Maybe you would have been the perfect boyfriend or girlfriend, but you decided not to say anything because you're like, wow, it could be awkward, it could be this, it could be that, not knowing that maybe, just maybe, that person likes you too. But anyway, and the only reason I'm mentioning that is, again, I love to analyze things from different angles. So when you hear a comment like that, my first thought was, that's odd that you reply that way, because it's not a yes or no. Like, you're not agreeing to a statement. I have a statement where I say, hey, I believe that you will find a guy that will have my personality, but um, a better body type. And then you reply with something completely different. So it could mean that, hey, you didn't even want to address this part. So you just went with a general statement that hopefully um pictures an idea of what you were thinking at the time. Now, does it matter now, or did it matter? Not really. In the grand scheme of things, it didn't matter because you know that person is still my friend, and that person, went on to feeling better about herself. And although she's still running around with the whole school thing, I'm pretty sure she's sick and tired of school. She's really happy to finish it and then perhaps get a career. Um but that person is doing well. Got a boyfriend now. taking care of a few things, being a president, a sorority. So all of those things, um, when you look at them now, and then my buddy used to say, hindsight is 2020, which I hate as a saying, but it is true. So that talk was just that. It was just a friend listening to another friend. So there's no harm, there's no foul. But you know, there's always the what if. There's always the hey, maybe this, maybe that. But at the end of the day, it's all for the better. I'm really happy for that person, and I hope they continue to be happy. Um, and I wish them health, love, and a lot of money on top of it. But um, it just goes to show that there's a lot of things, when it comes to dating. There's a lot of things when it comes to friendship, and a lot of things when it comes to breakups that we're not necessarily open enough to be able to dissect what is going on. And the reason I'm saying that is because um, we are designed as human beings to not tolerate pain, or emotional pain, or even trying something that's uncomfortable. We love habits. We love automatic things being done without us doing anything. But when we have to do an option or do an action to see, okay, well, if I do this, then maybe that guy or that girl will approach me, or if I say this, that. But, but we have to push through this because our brains are wired to give us, the lowest level of resistance when it comes to pleasure. So if you have to do something and you have to act with the people, and then you have to chase around people, and going through the DMs, sending pictures, sending photos, sending messages, only to see if you're gonna date someone. Well, eventually, for the people where it doesn't work, um, you start getting self doubt, and then once you start getting self doubt, well, this is when like just the desperate um, behavior happens, and this is when then all the questioning happens, because it's like, well, why is it me? Why this is happening? And then it will bring me to a topic, and I know I'm going, all over the place, but it is a random talk part two. So sorry, but not sorry. But it brings me back to a thought I had. I was thinking the other day. I'm like, well, I like, what is it about the calling out that makes it so he gets into situations where he's not the perpetrator, he's the victim, but um, because of reasons that we can't explain, he's the victim, and then there's no reparation, there's no apology. Stuff tend to happen. So what I mean by that, you know, I've gone, I've gone around. I mean, the summer and then even part of the winter, dating girls, because my mantra is, if I'm going to elevate a woman from, hey, we're casually dating, we're having fun, and it's cool, to, you're gonna be a girlfriend. If I do that, I need multiple candidates, and I'm not this big player. It's not like I'm dating chicks left and right, but it's it it's almost like um, choosing a job from four different opportunities. You just don't take the first one just because, okay, well, they gave me a job, so I'll take it. Like, if you get 4 or 5 jobs, yeah, it would suck to go ahead and you have to travel, and then you have to go through all that shit, and then maybe for like 2 hours or an hour or sometimes 30 minutes, they don't even have coffee. They don't even care about anything. There's no magazines, and then stupid ass video that they're playing is an instructional video about like timesheets for the company. Yeah, but but you still have to go, and then after that, you make your list of four, going from, hey, I love how this company is. I love the fact that they're expanding this group. Okay, would be cool too because I'm doing this, that, and the third, or the schedule is more lenient, so it would be great. But my thing is, if we're doing that with cars, and we're doing that with people wanting to update their kitchen, they get someone in there that gets paid by the hour to show them how to set this up. So if we do that with pills, I mean, why can't we just do that with humans? Why is it bad that I'm saying, hey, instead of just settling, I want to make sure that there's nothing better out there. I want to make sure that I get this urge of checking out of my system now before some serious stuff goes on. And I don't think my logic is wrong. You know, just taking the first girl that wants to go out with you and decides that, hey, okay, well, cool, you're my boyfriend. Okay, cool, I'm a girlfriend. It it blows. You know, there's absolutely no motivation. There's like, okay, cool, it happened, and then all right, let's move on. So um, I'm gonna cut this thing short. I feel like I'm passing out, and I'll probably edit a lot of the video because sorry, I'm pretty sure that I have a part where I'm rambling, but I'm not linking. I'm not putting the links, and I'm really big on that. It's one thing of going off on things, but you need to stay on the part that you were. So if you brought in an argument and it's not complete, and then you changed the subject, it doesn't work. So um, I'm gonna cut this short. I'll edit this so we can have it up soon. And after that, my next video, I want to talk about the DeMarcus Cousins situation, and why I think that the Kings are the Kings office is one of the weirdest one. Oh, sorry, it's one of the weirdest one in the NBA. Anyway, it was the clinic with with the clinic talks. Can't speak. So it was the clinic talks with the Clinic, and I'm out.